How is it going, everyone? It's Johnny Beard here with another episode of the Streamer Stories podcast. My guest today, it is the Twitch Taskmaster himself, RepKyles. Yo! How you doing, man?
Fantastic, Johnny. And I've got a task for all of you
Don't you
to
dare.
like and subscribe Johnny Beard.
Oh, that's all right. That's a task I can put up with. That's fine, yeah.
You have 1 minute to complete this task.
Your time starts now. And likewise, I've also got a task for you guys. Like and subscribe to RepKyles as well. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that was a great start.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Kyle, RepKyles, Kyle. I'm sure you don't mind me calling you Kyle. Welcome to the podcast, mate. Welcome to Streamer Stories. I'm so chuffed I've got you here. I've been a fan of Twitch Taskmaster. I've been a contestant on Twitch Taskmaster. I love your streams. You're a really, really entertaining guy. So the pleasure's mine. Thanks for joining me on the podcast, man. How are you doing?
I'm really, really good. It's honestly a privilege to actually be able to come on as well. I'm very much looking forward to all the questions. And, you know, I'm a fan of your series. I've been watching them here and there.
Yes.
Some of the vids, they are very, very good.
Appreciate it.
So I'm very excited.
Yeah, we get like a comment every week or two, from RepKyles going, "Watch this one now, Johnny Beard." I'm like, "Oh, he's such a babe. He's such a babe."
Well, as I'm doing the nursery and stuff, we're just doing things up there. So every time I've got stuff that I'm just doing around the house, I'm like, "Cool, I can chuck this video on today. Let's go."
Yeah. Just a bit of an insight into that. Because again, some of the streamers that I have interacted with, you know very well. So have you been picking up on things that you didn't know about before from us with our friends?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a cool little thing. You can gauge a little bit more of personality and like a little bit of history. But this is why I do my own version as well. Which you were also a guest.
Yeah, that was fun.
which that was fantastic time. But yeah, it's so cool, man. Honestly, and I do appreciate the approach you take. It's more of a unique approach to most podcasts as well.
Oh, thank you. No, we had the crossover. This is the crossover, by the way. This is not quite. It's not quite the Avengers, but the Welsh Avengers. Let's go for that. So yeah, from the south and from the north, we got the Welsh Collision. That should be a tag team name.
Oh, the Welsh Collision. I love it.
There we go.
If we start training now, we might make it to Mania.
Yeah. WrestleMania 58 maybe, but
hey, I'm down. I'm game.
A lot of training ahead.
We'll seek the aid of Drew Nightmare, I think.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. We'll be the triples tag team champions. That's for sure. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. We got
to be done.
The Welsh Collision. Okay. Well, I know who you are, and I know obviously your community know who you are. But for those who don't know who you are, Kyle, would you like to introduce yourself and where can we find you on your socials and what type of content do you make?
Yeah. So I'm RepKyles or Kyle. Either or is fine, or you can also call me, as Johnny said, Twitch's own Taskmaster. I'm the self-proclaimed Twitch Taskmaster, but I am the one nonetheless. You can find me over on Twitch, of course, YouTube. Slowly integrate myself into TikTok a little bit. But Instagram, all under the RepKyles moniker, where I do a variety of content, ranging from variety games, Among Us, horror, co-op games, mainly party games at the minute, because that seems to be what I'm caught on at the most.
Yeah.
We of course do the animal streams, the Taskmaster streams, my own streamer highlight series. It's all that good stuff.
Very busy man, and a lot of variety. That's for sure, and that's what I love to hear. I love that. I love the eclecticness of your streams, man. Very, very, very strong.
Yeah, got to keep it mixed up, innit? And it's great with the animals because it's just something completely different as well.
Yeah. Let's speak about that then. Let's speak about the animals first, and of course you got RepKyles. I mean, is there a hidden detail about your username that we don't know about, or is it on the nose? Is it in terms of?
It is just very on the nose. It was I started under the moniker of Kyle's RepKyles, that was my thing.
Ah, okay.
And then as I was progressing and trying to get onto the YouTube scene and stuff like that, I was finding that cool. Okay, maybe I need something a bit more catching. And Kyle's RepKyles is a bit more like of what I was trying to do when I was trying to open a reptile shop and do all this different ambitious stuff with the animals. And so I thought, cool, I need something that's more geared towards the content now. And RepKyles was just an amalgamation of reptiles and then chucking my name on top. So, and I played with a few other names. We were really lucky to have RepKyles, because otherwise we would have had alternatives like Kyladile. Or the likes of such, but it was spitballing names for a while, and before settling on RepKyles, which I thought was that's really nice rolling and like just the 2-for-1 you get with it. It's
exactly.
I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. But man, you love your animals. I mean, what's your collection? What have you got? I mean. But what don't you have?
A crocodile, ironically. No, the thing is, we've got like a variety of like snakes and geckos. Like we've got leopard geckos, we've got pythons, corn snakes, a chameleon, tarantulas, jumping spiders, rabbits, dogs, and I'm sure I'm missing something, but
wow, busy house.
But yeah, I spoke to one of my friends and they asked, how many animals do you have? I said, I have a petting zoo. The amount of times I'll get asked. And my default answer is, no, I haven't. I have a zoo.
Yeah.
I live in a zoo.
Wow. Wow, man. But I didn't know that element as well about the fact you were thinking of opening up your own place as well as a place to look after animals. Wow, that's amazing, man. Massive passion.
That was a pipe dream like a long while ago. It's had to go on the back burner for like multitudes of reasons, but as is life.
As is life, but you never know. And pipe dreams can be real. That's you never know. You never know. Okay. Let's rewind back then. So let's talk about Baby Kyle, baby RepKyles. So what were your first like memories of playing games then? I mean, obviously, did you play a game? Was the control pad dumped upon you? Did you did you watch a video game? How was the first interactions with the video gaming world for you?
Okay, I love this because, and I've been thinking about it a lot since I started watching your series. I was like, okay, cool. How would I answer this? Because I get torn between two. I have two almost like, when you have simultaneous things that kind of happen all at once.
Yeah.
So I can't recall if PlayStation 1 was my first or if Windows Vista was my first.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know the exact timeline, but it's between those. And so if we're talking Windows Vista, I grew up on like some of the early games with like we're talking when I'm like 3 years old now, because because age and whatnot. But that would be like Thomas, like different Thomas the Tank emulators and like like CD-ROM type games.
Yeah.
Then if we flip it to the PlayStation 1, then it's things like Tom and Jerry. Oh, what other ones was there? Tom and Jerry, Rugrats, M&M's Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
Like really just niche, like out there kind of games.
Wow.
So those are the ones I kind of started on, but the only one I predominantly remember is the Tom and Jerry one, being that you'd have to go around the house as Jerry or Tom, to either escape Tom or catch Jerry, and you get like it's kind of like a brawl'em game. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it's like kind of like a brawl'em type. So you go in and out of rooms, and it like kind of scroll like this, and you can pick up weapons. You have to like kind of get them to lose lives to get the you win screen.
Right. Okay. So was it like 2 players as well? Could one person play as Tom and Jerry, or?
Yeah.
Right.
It's,
that's interesting.
Like, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like a really unique thing, but the irony to it was I never really had anyone to play it.
Yeah.
And then when I did, I was always still trying to figure it out for myself. So it was like, okay, right, you carry on, but there, I'm just gonna figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah, because that's me. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of basically like not in a disrespectful way, but obviously kids games, which again makes almost sense. Really, you were young.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I played Resident Evil. That sounds backwards, but that's wrong now. Whereas you did it the right way.
Yeah, like as a kid, I grew up on the kids games, and then I grew up a little bit, played the adult games, and I'm kind of like nostalgic, and I want to play kids games again.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Hell yeah.
But no, we're talking then, like, obviously the PlayStation 1 and the Vista like got phased out. I'd say fairly quick, but not too quick. Vista definitely did. That kind of came and went when I was younger. It was there for maybe 2-3 years. PlayStation stuck around a little bit longer, and then the next one for me would be PlayStation 2, which is where I actually have most childhood memories around games.
Okay.
Playing games like, again, kids games, but some were, some weren't. So we have like Cars, like the actual movie Cars game.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo, the Scooby Doo games. That I love the Scooby Doo games. So I want to play them right now as an adult. And then things like Simpsons Hit and Run, Simpsons Road Rage, and then the odd wrestling game sprinkled in there as well, SmackDown v Raw, and Here Comes the Pain and whatnot.
Nice. Oh, well, let's talk about wrestling games very shortly. We're gonna have to. We're going there, mate. We're going there, and there's no point in trying to deny it or try to escape. It's happening. But before we do that, like kids games in general, right? I've got like this bad, especially back in the PS1 and PS2 days. They had this bad like rap, really, but there were some real good gems there. And I think you had to like sift through, dare we say, shit to find the golden, the golden ones, really. So you mentioned Tom and Jerry being maybe one of those, but what about on the PS2 then? What was like another
PS2? See the Scooby Doo ones, like, and again, like it's ones which will probably catch flack, but it's like Night of 1,000 Spooks, or like I forget what the other one's called, but there's another Scooby Doo one where you just get to, it's not open world, but like it's unlockable exploration, where like you'll go into an area, you find clues, you like kind of progress naturally through it, and then you unlock the next area, and then the other area stays open so you can travel back and forth and everything. You find collectibles. It's like my first like proper game.
Yeah.
In terms of like, this has collectibles, objectives, and things like that. And it was like, yeah, this is really cool. Another fun one, not necessarily like a good game, but like one with like a major theme around like just family fun was Buzz Jungle. It was like, you remember the old red Buzzer ones, and you had like the colors and stuff on the PlayStation 2.
Vaguely. Oh yes.
So like game showy ones,
Yes.
That was another one.
Yeah.
Where you play as monkeys and you just do funny stuff like toss bananas with the color coordinated buttons and stuff. Like just ones like that, really. And in terms of gems, I'd just say Scooby Doo, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's others in the mix, but I wouldn't necessarily call them gems.
I mean, it's interesting now. I think when we grew up, I know you're a bit younger than me, but like even you growing up and myself growing up, like kids today, like they immediately go to like the Fortnite, they go to the Minecraft, they go to like dare I say Fall Guys or something like that,
GTA
or GTA 6. They're gonna there's gonna be like a queue of 9-year-olds. No, but whereas back in those days, there was not really like a game really that you'd go to. Whereas it's been built into now childhood games. Now you got your Fortnites, your Minecrafts, and all that jazz, haven't you?
Yeah.
And it's a different time. Like kids will fall into those games now and play them.
Yeah.
Now, and it's always like they made so much money. Whereas you'd have to find the games when we were younger. It's a weird time.
Absolutely. What I find looking back nostalgically, whenever I look like through PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, anything that like me or like my like group of friends would kind of have, some would have like the obvious ones, like FIFA and like racing and whatnot. And like I had the odd racing game as well, but they weren't necessarily my favorites. But like what you find going back most of the time is the niche games which will catch the flag, but those ones were the ones which were most produced anyways.
Yeah.
You know, based off TV, film, and etc. Like you know, there was. I found out the other day there was a game for everything, like from Madagascar and just all this other stuff. And like I said, cars earlier. It's like
Yeah.
fair enough. So, some were done really well, in my opinion, but it depends on which one. Finding Nemo is another one. I had that game, and one of the levels is you've got to bounce on the jellyfish to go from one area to the other.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
there's there is a transitional stage, I think, between like the games of old where they're like really niched, or like you know they have like a following to and Sonic on PlayStation 2, Sonic Heroes.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was the one for me. It was I only remembered it because it was a silver case. As I was going through my mind there, I was like, oh, Sonic.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I love Sonic. So, okay, right, wrestling games then. So, what was your first wrestling game?
That would be see the Here Comes the Pain SmackDown. Oh, like thing is they were both there, but I either played that one first or SmackDown vs. Raw 2006.
Okay, yeah. Goodness, I mean, I loved Here Comes Pain. Absolutely brilliant game. What a game. Yeah. I played them from like the first SmackDown game onwards. So, yeah, I think '06 was the last one I played for a few years. Actually, it was not bad. It was pretty good. Yeah. So what did you do like in terms of playing SmackDown games then? I mean, obviously, did you create your own wrestlers? Like, what moves did you have? Do you know what did you do?
I would just go on there, be my favorites, and play my play against my favorites, and I'd even be the bad guy sometimes just to like switch it up and just. I'd only want to play the people like I actually liked to watch in the wrestling at the time. But then that would change like as I went into my teen years, but. then you got a bit more like involved in like create a superstar and management and stuff, but it depends what timeline we're looking at, because my timeline with gaming and like consoles and stuff, it goes, I'm pretty sure I could go Windows Vista, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox original, Xbox 360, no, Xbox original, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you didn't stick with one console then. You deviated then. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It was just the culture, for the way we were raised and stuff. It was like cool. We'll have what we can get, and it was always like okay, we'll have it when we can get it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just appreciating what we could have at the time. Which was like it feels so weird looking back because I wasn't an avid gamer like when I was younger either. They were just there and I'd play them.
Yeah.
Like I have like this kind of niche area where I'm like, cool, games were fun to sit around and play on for a while. But it wasn't until like I hit maybe like 10 or upwards then where I started playing like games like properly and like actually investing time into them.
So were your family members into games? Were your parents into games? Do you have any siblings?
So I'm the oldest of all my siblings, so I basically turned all of them onto games.
Yeah.
My dad. So I've got to do this in splits now. So I've got a mom and two dads from different splits. So we're gonna on one of them was the PlayStation side, the other was the Xboxy side.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's where the original Xbox came in, and then the PlayStation 2. But ironically, I had the PlayStation 1, like just as an off cuff as well.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And so when you got your siblings into like games and stuff, did you play co-op? Did you show them the way? You know, what was the mindset?
So for those, that would be then when we were playing DS. So that was just more depend on the game.
Gotcha.
So when we were playing, it would be through that era, then we'd all kind of had like a Nintendo DS at that point. I'd gone through like maybe 3 due to like first raising anger, and then that's where you learn not to throw the DS, otherwise it breaks.
You learned the hard way.
or slam it again. I had the first ever chunky silver Nintendo DS, and like it's not. It was when because it was at that time where I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm really getting into games now. It was the first time like I was playing Mario Kart and I just lost and I kept losing, and I was just like, bang, straight into it and snapped the screen clean off. I was like, oh, no, what have I done? I won't be able to play my games.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
But for those, yeah, like because Nintendo was like revolutionary in my mind. The DS was like for its time in my mind. I was like, because we were then able to all play Mario Kart or Super Mario and its mini games, and even Super Mario 64 as well. Like those were really really fun.
DS was, it's one of the best. I mean, is it a console? Is it a handheld? Whatever you want to call it. It's one of the best gadgets ever made. It's so good. And you're talking about like putting your head through it. Like it was so robust as well. It was a very robust.
I dropped in everything so many times before the head went through it. I think the only reason it broke was because the head went through it. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it'd still be around today.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a very very good handheld. Arguably the best handheld ever made, I'd say. You know, I mean, you got to give the props to the Game Boy, but I mean, like the DS did things that were way ahead of its time. You know? It
blew up, and it did so many things. Like the way it introduced like a little chat function feature, and like you could do all these animation things on it as well. Like really rudimentary, but still like you could use it to do stuff, and it's like that's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So when the DSi came about, that was an upped game again, because you could put your SD card in and you could listen to music on it and then change the tone and everything and go through the voice modulators, and I was like, this is nuts.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like you mentioned, like the Bluetooth or the wireless again, it's so many things right. And like the Wii as well came out at the same time. Like not Nintendo. There's a reason why Nintendo
sticks around.
It saved Nintendo. Let's be honest. Both those they hit 2 absolute genius consoles at once. So,
yeah, well, I mean, do you remember when the Wii came out and it was like all bundles to come with the Wii Fit board, and like then you had like Wii Sports, Wii Fit, and then all like the niche little games. Like we had Rayman Raven Rabbits on the Wii, and you had to use the board for most of the games on that as well.
Yeah. I've still got my Wii and my Wii board somewhere. I used to whenever I used to go through I need to lose weight, like Wii Fit. because outside it's cold, okay? Because it'd be January, of course, when I would do this, you know, and it's hecking cold in Wales for those who don't live here.
It gets freezing.
So like the Wii Fit would come out once a year, you know. Oh, I put on weight, okay, you know. It was a great the Wii balance board is an amazing thing as well.
Oh, definitely. Like, and again, they kind of like these ideas, which kind of just did hit a lot against their time. And I'm glad we're on the Wii now as well, because that is a pinnacle of like innovation for wrestling games.
Yeah.
Did you? Because
I didn't play them.
The first time you could do. You missed out. You've missed out.
Tell me.
SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. You had to mime their taunts. Like if you wanted to do a taunt, it's not a button. You had to actually be like this with the Wii remote for Undertaker, this for Rey Mysterio. You had to put him in front of your face. DX Chop, you actually like have to do this to do it in the ring. It was nuts time.
What? I had no idea.
John Cena, you'd hold the nunchuck here and then grab the Wii remote and be like, "You can't see me," and then you'd have to go back into fight mode. It's like that is actually peak Wii innovation, honestly. Peak Nintendo Wii.
With the taunts like really powerful, like you had to get a lot, because taunts in like wrestling games normally just give you a little bit of a boost of your signature bar, don't they? So
they did. It was like a little bit of a boost, but then it was more like the functionality of like, you could just do it anytime. Like, and it was just like this crazy way then of introducing it and just being like, yeah, you've actually got to move like and everything, and it was like, oh, this is so much more fun. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be really physical with the game. Then it forces you to interact that way. And being an avid wrestling fan as well.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you want to spring up. Like a lot of us do want to hop in that squared circle as well. Like, and any wrestling fan, I think, can attest. Like, but most of us won't go out and get the training either due to like commitments, time, etc. But to be able to just stand in your living room and be like, can't see me, get back into like, it's just nuts.
No, I never knew that. I never knew that. That's amazing. Okay.
Honestly, have to pull up some gameplay, man. You'll have to.
I'll have to look into this. This is crazy. I feel like I've missed out. Now you are right. I feel like I've missed out. Like, oh man. Okay. So, we're talking about some of your favorite games. Is there like a bad game? Is there like a worst game that you've played? And that can be a game that could be like that wasn't like the worst game ever made, but it was really disappointing for you. Or is it a game that is like downright bad? Is there like a game that comes to mind?
Oh, so many. No, there's like, obviously we've touched on like the niche games and stuff. So I went through my fair share of like the niche ones also. And like Over the Hedge like did nothing. Like, I know it's only meant to be like a cheap, quick use an over the hedge face mask on like an objectives little puzzly game, but like just so janky, and like the way you had to like control characters and stuff. And again, I know it's DS and whatnot. You can't really have these at the time. You obviously have these high expectations, but like now you look back and it's like, oh yeah, DS and it.
Yeah.
But that at the time, that was like the first time I recognized what made a good and a bad game.
Right.
I was like, oh, like I still kept playing it, trying to win. But there was some levels, like there was just some ways where like at the time, like you can't quite figure out, either perhaps because like your problem solving isn't all there yet and stuff like that, and just it was so frustrating. And this is not even just from like a me aspect. I had like others try the game and try the levels I was on, and like other people against that. So I'm like, cool. So it's not just me then being idiot. Like it's just being bad. Like the game itself is just being a bit rubbish.
Yeah. And the DS, I suppose we talk about, we're singing the praises of the DS in all fairness, and rightfully so. But I suppose one thing I think that we have to mention is that there was a lot of games that were made for the DS that were like ported that weren't good.
No, 100%, absolute 100%. There was some which worked, and for what they were trying to do, and like the things that they wanted to achieve and actually got achieved, and things like that. Like The Incredibles is a good example. Like you're not going to expect a lot from, like, say, The Incredibles movie, the game, but like it's got some really cool, like, unique functions in like the way you attack enemies and stuff like that, and like the way you got to use the touch screen, and like that was really cool and unique. And like each character had their set powers, and it worked both as like a platformer, because it was like a platformer mixed with like a little bit of cinematic. And they made it work. But there was like you say, there was a lot of games on DS which also didn't do too much cop, to be fair.
Yeah, true. So again, considering the timing we're talking about in terms of like, where you fall in terms of your life and your journey through video games, an interesting question to ask yourself, Kyle, is about achievements and trophies. Is that something that you did a lot of? Because again, achievements and trophies in my generation, because I'm a bit older, like it was quite a new thing, whereas I think you probably grew into it a lot younger, I'd imagine. So talking about that.
So the moment I got the 360 and achievements started popping up, I'd go nuts. Right? Yeah. I'd be like, okay, cool, yeah, like I've got like goals now, and like even when the game stuff's done, I'd go check the achievements and the trophies and whatnot, and be like, right, okay, cool, like let's have a look. Try and knock all them off on the 360 and whatever I could knock off, and then thankfully, like this is at the time then where like you can just Google like, oh, how to do like certain bit on this bit, and I wasn't even necessarily always looking for the full answers. I just want like a hint, because like some of them they're secrets, and I just want to know what it is so I can actually do it. I don't want to know how to do it. I just need to know what it is,
Yeah,
so I can go look for it.
It's a good function, that, isn't it? When you get the hidden achievements, like, and you're not supposed to. Yeah, I always find that hit and miss. Actually, don't know what you're.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like with certain games, you're like, no, I need to know.
Yeah,
Why
because
have you
you're just
hidden
never
this?
gonna come across it. There's one in like it was an older Forza game, and you have to go up a specific ramp in a specific car in a specific way. But you're never going to do that unless you just happen to in their hundreds of gallery of cars. Like, and just the various ways you can go up this ramp. Like, it's just not going to happen unless you know that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was a
so
hidden
it's like,
achievement,
okay.
so you had no idea.
No.
Like, yeah, great example.
It's like, there's a really bad one, but then there's other ones where it's just like, in like a much recent Forza game, I think it's Forza Horizon 4, where it's clear all the roads off, included like all hidden paths and stuff. And that's fine, because eventually you do go over every single road anyway. Like, the game purposely will put you on objectives and races, etc. that it kind of covers all of the map. So
yeah, exactly.
It really is hit or miss. But in terms of achievements, though, it was kind of a phase that only went through on the 360 as opposed to anything else. So while that was in its heyday, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. Was there like an achievement, like either there's a memorable achievement that you can think of, either because it was just ridiculously challenging, or maybe it was like such a great relief, or that was cool? Like, was there anything that comes to mind, like over the years, that you can think of?
My favorite one was probably WWE 2K14. Was it 14? It was 14 or 15, and it was beat the streak because the AI on the Undertaker's like ramped right up, and it does take a lot of work, a lot of doing, and he does not want to go down at all. Like, doesn't want to, and it takes so long, and the grind for me was so real. And like I'd be playing, and like I'd lose, I'd be like, damn it, I'd be like, right, okay, next one, I've got a new strategy. And like the formulating of it was just like, I put so much genuine effort into it. With the payoff then was like, boom, I've done it. And I remember that I used Edge to do it as well. Like, I can remember the exact way I did it, how it, like, all of it.
I never played that one, but I remember hearing about the beat the streak mode. Apparently, it was, again, breaking, probably headbutting control pads in that case, you know. For that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, I always wanted to try it. I didn't play for many years. To be honest with you, I don't play many WWE games nowadays. Sorry, wrestling games in general, actually, because I know AEW's just come out, hasn't it? So, but yeah, that was one I was like, ooh, I might have to try that one.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, if you ever get a chance to, like, you know, whether emulate it or like actually like go and get it or whatever, like, do it, because it's so fun. Like, because don't get me wrong, as frustrating as I say it is, like, once you kind of got into the rhythm, like, it was so satisfying because it was so hard as well.
Yeah,
like it meant that, like, okay, cool, this feels real. This feels like I'm actually fighting. Like, growing up as a kid, Undertaker was like unstoppable, especially at Mania, and you're like, okay, cool. It actually feels like I'm actually like gonna beat the Undertaker there. Like, and it's wild. Like, but again, that kind of poses off, I suppose, how much of a wrestling fan you actually are as well.
Yeah, very true, very true. So, if you were stuck on a remote island, and you can only have 3 games, so the rest of you, like, you're stuck on the island. I'm sorry. You can bring the animals if you want. You know, I don't know how they get on with the agriculture on the island, but you know, that's besides the question. But you know, you can only play 3 games for the rest of your life on that island. You can play online, and you can play like mods and DLCs and all that jazz as well. So you can do that. What would those 3 games be, and why?
Oh, right. First one is probably my favorite game of all time, and that's Far Cry Primal.
Okay, yeah.
And I know that catches loads of flack as well for being so bad, but it's so not. For me, it was the first game I played because it was an Xbox One. When I got that, I played it it was the first game I went real hardcore into gaming. It was the first time I went through a whole campaign on easy, normal, hard. Like I was like, yeah, this is what I really like. Like just this, and then just the open worldness of it, and then the fact there's so many animals and like the beast tamer aspect of it is like I can play it over and over again. I won't ever get bored of Far Cry Primal.
Okay, yeah.
Even on its janky, like even when it was having janky moments sometimes, but it hadn't the last time I played it. But even on its like janky period, it was still so fun, and like the natural story progression, it almost feels like you're playing an Assassin's game rather than a Far Cry game.
Right.
And I love the Assassin series. Which brings me to my second game, which right now, as of this moment in time, has to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Right.
I cannot stop playing it. It's so good. That is my off-screen downtime, me time. Like Kyle, like that's offline Kyle just brains off.
Yeah.
Assassin's time. I'll probably play through that because it's so extensive. There's no end to which like I could go back, replay it, make a different choice, see how the characters play out again, and then it'd take me ages. So it's going to occupy me for a long time, anyways. And then my last one has to be again one of my favorite games of all time is Among Us. I'm just so stuck on it. I can't remove it from my life. Came at peak of COVID. I got really into it. Watched everyone play it, and I still love arranging sessions to this day. Whereas I'm at the point now where I can like actually arrange like decent sessions with a lot of people. Like the only thing I need to do now is learn how to mod so I can add like all the different roles and stuff. But Among Us for sure, like, and because I'll have Wi-Fi and everything, then eventually I'll get mods on there anyway.
There you go. Two single player games and one multiplayer game. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Nice. A lovely segue as well into my next question, which is a streamer question that someone else asked, who didn't know who you were, and they just asked the question at the end of their stream, at the end of their podcast episode. So Kyle, here's the question for you, man. So it's if you had to live in your favorite video games world, what situation are you in? So that's going to be quite interesting.
See, it's interesting because I want to, like, it's the dangers of the world and everything, isn't it? Like,
it's a good question.
It's all well and good to throw myself into like my favorite games, but I don't want to be imposted either. You know, I don't want to get snapped in half or killed or eaten. Like, just maybe in terms of like where I'm at right now, though, I'd probably say Assassin's Creed Syndicate, though. Like I'm really big on like different time periods and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like still relevant, like still forward in the future enough where it's like has fairly modern-ish things going on.
Yeah.
But like still sets me out of place a little bit where I could experience it and just get to enjoy like a little bit more of like simple life in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny actually. Now that I've had a read collection, it's a similar question to what you asked me, obviously, on your show, actually, isn't it? You asked a similar question to me in terms of like, I think I said Pokemon. On your show in terms of like, what situation would I like to be in if I was in a video game?
Because my one was if you had to be a character in any game, wasn't it? Like if you had to play out their life for a day, then which character are you?
Whereas this the wording of this question that the streamer asked you was your favorite video game. So you go for Assassin's Creed. So yeah, there's got to be some beauty living in an Assassin's Creed world. I can see that. To be fair, like if you're not in the wrong place, for sure. No.
Yeah, I'll still take on a few Templars if I have to. Like if I'm forced into a corner, you know, we can do some fisticuffs.
Yeah, if we have to.
Yeah.
No. So another thing you kind of touched on before, but I'd like you to elaborate on is that lovely thing you were talking about in terms of like your offline games. So what is your ratio then in terms of playing games for online content versus playing offline stuff and just having like that time to yourself to play what you want? What's the ratio like, and what are you playing offline at the moment?
That's a good question. So I love Among Us through and through. I'll play that online, offline. wherever and whenever I can arrange a session. Whether it's for content or not, like I'll just arrange a session with people, and then I'll tell them beforehand, like if I'm gonna stream, record, or if it's just freehand, so we can like be a bit more expansive with the way we talk, etc., etc. Ratio, I'm doing a lot more content than I do offline stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like I'm still in that eternal struggle of finding balance between work life, the beginnings of new family life, and then also like content creation and me time. So like I'm trying to find like that perfect middle ground balance, but I don't think it'll ever be achieved, because I think to achieve that makes boring life. Like I think if you can nail it like dead on, so you have like set perfect, like I think then I'd be bored with it, and I'd shake it up purposely on myself and be like, no, okay, I'm gonna do something different now. I need to add another obstacle. So I just for some reason have this self-destructive kind of approach where I'm like, okay, I've got to challenge myself like a little bit more. Or like I can't have things like going too well or too easy for me for too long, otherwise it's I tend to like just shy away from it then otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll talk about streaming properly in a bit, but as a continuation of what you just said there. So, you know, you stream, I believe, in your front room, is it? I think.
Yeah.
You know, and again,
the Wi-Fi unfortunately won't reach my bedroom.
Oh no! Oh, bless you. But again, you know, there's always stuff going on, you know, in your room and your setup, and it's I love that it's part of you. It's part of your setup. You know, you're not the first, and you won't be the last to have it. So, you know, talk about that. It's fantastic to see. What are your thoughts?
I have a really living background. Like, so I've got, as part of the setup, my so for those who don't know me, obviously, like it's I've got a huge ass snakes enclosure as my table. Like that's the TV screen, the PC hold. Like I can literally flip the camera if you want me to. Right, we'll take you on a little.
Oh my god, we're doing like RepKyles Crips, y'all.
Right, so I'll do a flip because I don't have the most extravagant setup. I have like a living in setup. So we'll turn around. They be a little table.
Yeah.
Nice keyboard, mouse mat. Eddie Guerrero pop vinyl.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Be my favorite wrestler. That's a homage to my Overwatch fandom. Microphone, ring light. There you go. Big TV. There we go. We'll have some Inception stuff going on. The Discord. That's the PC area there. Shout out to Carlton, the wife. And of course we got one of the animals down there as well. And this is a big enclosure as well. Like it's
it is. It's huge.
It do be a 6 foot. It's 6 foot long, 3 foot high, and 3 foot wide.
Wow.
And of course I got those ones there also.
Yeah. Wow.
That's more often than not what everyone will see in the background, but I keep it as like faced away from like everything as I possibly can, because like over here is like the rest of the house. So I do try and keep it isolated and like work with the room that I got.
Exactly.
Like in an ideal world, I'd have it upstairs and like in a dedicated corner and everything, but just it's not meant to be because of the wiring and etc.
No, that's totally valid, man. That's totally valid.
I make it work, and I've had nothing but fun. I've genuinely nothing but fun across my entire journey.
Yeah, man. And I was going to say something then. I was going to say none of that made any sense to Spotify, by the way. So sorry about that. You'll have to watch it on YouTube if you wanted to see Kyle's setup. But tough luck. Sorry. But lovely deviation to streaming then, man. Let's talk about that. So how long have you been streaming for, and what was the moments then that led into that that particular moment where you click go live? What was that process like for you?
Ooh, okay. So I started streaming originally not on Twitch.
Okay.
I started off from another platform called YouNow.
Okay. I think I've heard that.
Which it was like it was weird. So I originally went on there to follow a YouTuber because you could interact with them and talk with them over there. Like that was their like go live program. They were trying out a new platform.
Right.
And so I went over there, like in just terms of following, just to ask a few questions about like stuff I was curious about in their videos and things like that, which like you wouldn't normally find an answer to. And then at that point, I seen like streaming was a thing through that site rather than anything else. And then that's when I decided, okay, cool. I have all the animals I have and everything. I want to start streaming and doing edutainment shows, just all focused around the animals. I'd stream like 5 times a week, and it was just all animal content, live, answering questions, doing fun tidbits, care guides, feed-ins, all that different kind of stuff, all on there. And then at some point, like through the use of like Twitter, etc., you heard about Twitch. To which then I defected to Twitch in 2018.
Wow.
19?
Yeah.
2018, 19.
Been going for 2 years then.
Yeah. I've been around a little bit.
Yeah.
I was on now for like a year or two. But every time like I was on there, I was always nervous to hit the go live every time. And then Twitch was even scarier again because I was like, new platform. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I really wanted to play games. Because ever since I was like 10, 11, I would watch Jacksepticeye videos, Vanos videos, all that stuff. And I was like, I want to do this. Like, even just like as a hobby or whatever, I was like, this is fun. I wanted to be an actor as a kid. I still want to be a form of actor now. I want to do voice acting wherever possible, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this is cool because now I can just do all the stuff I do in real life, like voices, sounds, and stuff, and I can play games. I can hang out with people. And when I found Twitch, I was like, this is perfect. Because YouTube, I tried YouTube before going to Twitch as well, alongside didn't work out for me because I was brand new and didn't really know what I was looking for, and any advice I was trying to get, I wasn't getting. I was getting misled with like, and I got disheartened for the longest time off YouTube. At which point then I started streaming, and then lockdown hit, and that's when it really like picked up then because I started streaming. My first few streams on Twitch was maybe 5-6 months before lockdown.
Right. Yeah.
I do it on a semi-regular basis, and then as like COVID kind of hit and everything, then I was like, banging, sweet, let's go all in. And I put like, and that was the first time then I was like proper like investing time, investing effort, work, and everything into the stream, and like actually like really making it work for myself. To which then we came out of lockdown, and coming out of lockdown, I was putting in more work into all the content stuff than I ever had before, and I was like, yes, I know I can do this. This is the way I'm going. At which point then, like, I started time with family and all that good stuff, and that was a good time. And then I think I was on Twitch for a year-ish, or maybe a couple, how long would it have been? 90, I think, maybe a couple months, and then I got affiliate. And then, that was a whole thing, because I was like, how do you people like me? I've got no cam, I've got a shit mic, I've got nothing going on for me, and I was just like, I don't understand. But then I look at like Vanos videos and stuff and be like, no, actually, I do get it, because that's where it emanates from for me. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then it kind of came a little bit full circle in that moment. Then when I realized, I was like, oh yeah, maybe. Like,
it's
like,
a humbling feeling,
if I liked it, then. What's to stop other people liking me?
Yeah, very true. It's a humbling moment, isn't it? Like, I mean, Twitch in general, or streaming, shall I say, in general, it really is that way. It's like, you guys are here to see me? What? That's why?
100%. It was mind-blowing that I had people who wanted me to reach affiliate and stuff, and were like, come on, yes, you can do this because you're really funny. And I'm like, never been told this many compliments ever.
yeah, I totally feel that, man.
And it's just truly mind blowing. And then I don't know. One day just kind of like hit, and then like like I didn't say like I'm successful, but we're all successful like in our own right. Like to even hit live and like do that, to take that first step is successful, because then you're still doing entertainment, you're putting yourself out there, and everything like that. Like you're taking your chances, you're trying new stuff and whatnot. So it's mind blowing as well, like how the journey kind of changes over time, like the way you see it, how you feel about it, your thoughts, and all that.
Yeah. Mate, I honestly didn't know you were streaming for as long as you have. You've been streaming pretty much the same amount of time as me then. Good 7 odd years. So, wow, fair play. And I mean, what's it been like for you then over those years then? Because again, I know you asked me a similar question on your show in terms of like, the saturation of Twitch. We talked about that, didn't we, and stuff like that. So what have you seen in the years and pre-pandemic, mid-pandemic, and then post-pandemic? How have you seen the landscape change?
Well, my view of it is like probably a little bit different, obviously, because I was on the other platform as well.
Yeah.
Beforehand, and it's like, well, it was really like surreal in the sense, like when I first started, it was more like just cool. Everyone's like doing this kind of wave thing of like, okay, you go into one person, you chat with them, you get social. You get social a little bit and everything. You start talking to people, and then you start gelling with the right people, and you kind of wave in and out of like different communities. Which at the time, again, like much to your like as you discussed on mine, is where you didn't know about that kind of stuff to begin with, and it was like I was like a lot more reserved. I was like, hey, cool, like yeah, I'll come and say hi, and we'll hang for a bit, and then but I've got to go off and do my own things as well. And it's like I was like, I don't want to take your time, and like I'd be really shy, and like I never want to talk about like my own stuff, like. And so how you get the streamers who'll come in like early days of Twitch. I'd see a lot of like oh, I'm hi, like they'll talk to you for a bit. Yeah, I'm just off to do my stream now. I'm off to do my content. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, like and like innocently, I'd be like, okay, guys, go check them out as well. Like you don't necessarily always. I didn't understand the dynamic then, but and it'd be similar a little bit on you now as well from time to time, but the transitional stage of doing that, and where I was the opposite then, where people would say, oh, you're funny, I like hanging out with you, you should stream. And I turn around there and be like, yeah, I've been streaming for like 8 months. And they're like, why haven't you said anything? I'm I don't want to impose like like I was just like, I don't want to just, it's your community. I can't say like, oh, I'm going live. Like this is your space.
Exactly.
But then you kind of get like, you get reassured a lot through a lot of different communities and stuff. Like especially, I use Nightbreed as a great example of like everyone just building each other up, and it's not a community of like support, follow for follow, anything like that. It's just more of like, okay, cool, yeah. You like this, go for it. We believe in your idea. You too, like go for it. Like absolutely, like you could share ideas, split different games and stuff, and all this different kind of thing. And it's just when I got into those types of communities, that's when like it really hit and like took off. And I was just like, okay, cool. This is what it's supposed to be about. But to come back to your saturation comment as well, yeah, like through COVID, again, because I still worked through when they lessened it. I then had to go back to work to when I was a chef. They were like, no, you can't have time off. You go in the kitchen. It's just, we can't have customers there. It's like, we can't have people in here. Why? Like, just let me stay home, do my stream.
Oh man, what a weird
let me content. But yeah, so I was then, and because of home life, and because I'm like, I'm genuinely like a really busy person, both on and offline, especially more so now with the job I'm at now. And I love my job, by the way. but with the animals, and then like I'm a carer also. I've been a carer since I was 12 for my mum. So like that aspect of life would always be like, okay, cool, gotta balance that part as well. And now with like the developing family now as well, it's like, okay, cool. So like the overall scheme, like I've noticed, I had to notice in like tidbits or like through conversation and then like seeing it after the fact as well, like as stuff was a bit more heavily laden on, rather than just being like, okay, cool, like I've noticed this and whatnot. But I just go live, have fun, and make it all just part of my day, man.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, a lot. Got a lot going on, which is I salute you, mate. I salute you. So,
but
yeah.
The thing is as well, like I'll say I've got a lot, but like I want to make sure like I'm clear as well, like because it is mostly self-inflicted, like content self-inflicted, like the animals self-inflicted, like I make myself busy, but that's the way I enjoy it. I do like this, like
yeah, man, yeah. I completely feel you and I agree. I think we've got similar mindsets in that respect. So yeah, totally. Right, we've got to talk about Taskmaster, Twitch Taskmaster, obviously. So
the pipe dream come true.
Yeah, it's amazing. So talk us through like how did it's an obvious like in terms of like why you do it, I suppose, isn't it? But I mean in terms of like what was the thought process of I have this idea, I think that it would work really well on Twitch, and then what you got together to get it to happen and stuff like that. How was that process for you?
So I'd watch Taskmaster a lot, and I like there's a lot of shows, and I'm gonna shout out Johnny Beer, by the way, because he's been on Total Wipeout, and I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Sorry.
But like I'd see like a lot of shows growing up. Like as a kid, you'd watch like Jungle Run and all these different like types of game shows, and then as you get older as well, you'd see like Shopping Spree Run or whatever it's called. Like there was one where you had to run around a shop.
Oh, that's a supermarket sweep, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one where you just chuck shit in the trolley and just be like, yep, quick, get to the. I'm like, this all looks so fun. And then I watched Sidemen and stuff growing up, and I'm like, I want to do things like this in real life. Like a lot of like the content style I really enjoy, and I'm like, I love doing this type of stuff in general, anyways. But Taskmaster specifically, I absolutely love. Greg and a lot of the comedians he has had on, i.e. Rod Gilbert, James Acaster, etc. And I was like, I want to do something like this. I'm like, I really want to go on things like Taskmaster or 8 out of 10 Cats or what's the other one, Mock the Week, stuff like that. I'm like, growing up, I would watch all these shows and be like, it's not fair, man. How come only like all these people get to go? Like, what? Where's the show for like just regular people?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. Screw it. I'm gonna make a version for the everyday folk, and I'm gonna make it Twitch based. And then it was just adapting all the current things, like all the current ideas to Twitch, and like in my own format as well, like making it my own and molding it into this new vision of then okay, cool, we can't actually make people give away prizes, and we don't know necessarily if it is a show, like we don't know if they're actually taking each other's possessions home. Like there's that aspect
you do wonder,
of it, which
don't
I'm like like Kelly Godliman brought in a caravan once. Like did someone then have to hitch home a caravan? Like what's going on?
Come on now.
But I was like, okay, how can we formulate that? How can I format that into stream terms? And it's just like, oh, I know, I can just have people show off like some of their favorite things or the things that meet the criteria I want, and then just coming up with like unique, different ideas from the show, and just like kind of adding some which are inspired from, and then some which were completely made up of my own mind, which sometimes I've used show inspiration, sometimes I've just completely made up tasks as like I'm building the next season. As you know, we're going into season 4 now, which starts in about a week or so. I don't know when the video will be out, but I don't know if it's on then or not, but yeah, the season 4 Taskmaster will be on at some point. Same with like main tasks, and then I thought, right, team tasks, that's my biggest hurdle. So I wanted to follow the formula of the show, where like mix it up and have all the different types of tasks. I was like, right, how's team tasks going to work? I was like, right, if I put them all into a group, I was like, no, that's not going to work. And there's so many like, I'd spitball ideas to like one or two of my friends and be like, do you think this works? Or like, how would you do, like, how would you react to this? And eventually it came to, okay, cool. They can all, like, teams would have to arrange it in their own. Prize tasks would have to just be shown and then like a little bit about them and stuff. And then obviously in the way of the show, I'll rate and rank everything as well. But then I do have my own sprinkles in there with like solo tasks, which are already a thing, but they weren't a predominant thing. And that was like the first like bigger change I made.
Right. Yeah.
With the exception of season 1, wherein I had on-stream task, which was you had to be live for.
Yeah.
And do it when I call you. So I could just catch you. Like, it was the most surprise element of the task. Was I would just pop in and be like, bam, do XYZ, and you'd have to do it. And like, because I just moved into the new job, during season 1, I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work for this job.
Yeah.
And plus the feedback on it was like, yeah, it's great, but like, you know, is there another way you could do it if you want to keep doing this one? And I'm like, okay, cool. And that's how prompt tasks then came into fruition. But we have got I have got my unique, very spin-off coming in the future, as you know, with Taskmaster Battle Royale, which I won't reveal too much about.
Oh, okay.
I'll say it takes. I think we actually spoke briefly on it before, but it's basically going to be all past contestants going to be vying for the 6th spot.
Oh yeah, she did say this to me.
In the Champion of Champions. I've got the formula for how I want it to work. I've got the execution all ready to do. I need the time now to elapse to put it in motion. So we got to get through season 4, 5, Battle Royale, then Champion of Champions, which for those who don't know, Johnny Beard is a winner of Taskmaster, by the way.
I did, yeah.
He brings it up because he likes to be told that he's won a season.
Exactly. It's the only reason why you're in a podcast, mate. Joking.
Had he not won, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, no,
like, no. Kyle, back to the bottom you go.
Yeah. No, of course. Oh no, it was brilliant. I loved playing on the Twitch Taskmaster. It was one of my favorite things I did last year. So again, you know, everyone that, you know, I mean, some of my clips from my Twitch Taskmaster on my YouTube, and you know, if you want to have a flavour of what RepKyles does, then you can see it there. But definitely check out season 4. It probably will be a few weeks in at this point when this podcast comes out, but it's well worth your time watching it. You might meet your favorite new streamers, and of course you get to meet the man himself. He's awesome. So yeah.
I want to touch on that as well, actually, because I super appreciate the fact that you've put some of them as YouTube videos, because again, you spoke about it on my stream where your season really elevated the expectation of Taskmaster, and that's where that flip also switched, where I was like, okay, cool, let's not have just streamers, let's have content creators do this.
Yeah,
but I'm hosting it on Twitch. That's what makes it Twitch Taskmaster. That's when I was like, oh, content creators. That means I'm not limited to Twitch anymore. I can ask Kick, YouTube, etc. Like it opens the board, and I've like reached out to many different people across many different places. List is my like just like yours. My list be growing.
Who's got a big list from my Streamer Stories podcast list? Or your Twitch Taskmaster list, man? Wow, goodness.
But it's phenomenal. I'm so glad it's as well received as it is, because it was just a dream hope, and I was like, I really want to do this. I wonder if people also feel the same, and then to be on season 4 now isn't a testament how well like it's done based off. And I don't give myself any props for it. I put it completely on everyone who's taken part for making it as funny as it is. I just sit here and judge everything. Yeah. Like as much as I put it all together, I'm just judging. Like it's all based on like the funniness, and like I'd say the only like actual element I hold in it is choosing the cast. Like because I like making sure like kind of people will have the right kind of chemistry and stuff can kind of. I figured this out last season can really perhaps make or break it, because originally I was going to have one from every different kind of community, and I was like, oh, maybe this person wouldn't really mix with this person too well. And it's not that didn't want to pull that trigger either, like, because I'm going to in another season. But it was just more okay, cool, I'm still finding my feet, I'm still testing out new ideas, and every time a new idea came in, I was like, okay, let's push this one aside and work this one in instead. But like choosing the people, I'd say, is the only major aspect I control, where it was like, okay, cool, this is the payoff that I get.
Yeah, but I mean, equally, again, similar. Again, even though your content's so different to mine in terms of like mine's a podcast and yours is a Taskmaster show, like the recruitment, the networking, the getting to know people, feeling if they're a fit for the content you want to make. As in, mine is a podcast, yours is a Taskmaster show. It's hard work.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can feel that. It's a lot of knocking on doors and they're not opening. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, and like the thing is, it's not like that you're ever short either. It's just sometimes things fall through, and like, yeah. But again, as is life with these types of things, you get invited to a party, like XYZ drops out, like because XYZ reason. And it's like this happens, and like but like it doesn't make it less frustrating. But like at the same time, it's completely understandable, like how and why these things occur. Like, but yeah, the grind of doing the whole process though is 100% real, and it's it can be not demotivating, but it can feel a little bit defeating at times. Like we're in like you'll get so close. Like I arranged a season just before yours. I'd arranged it with 5 other people who have all now stopped content creation.
Oh my god! Yeah,
and it was like it kind of was like a slow drop off of like different reasons for this and this, and it's like, yeah, get it completely. Like for through one reason or another, like different people have to approach different things in life, and it's like completely understandable, honestly. But then it was like, oh damn, now I've got to like go through it all again. Like go right, okay, not. Would you like to be our Taskmaster?
Oh my goodness,
But yeah, like the workhorse part of it is a massive undertaking for sure.
But yeah, it's worth it in the end, isn't it? Like once it's out 100%. There and it's done it, it's definitely worth it. And we're out of time, so just got one more question for you, mate. Which is, again, considering the eclecticness of your content, the variety streaming, the animals, the Twitch Taskmaster and all that stuff, you got a lot, and again the many years of streaming that you have done that I didn't realize. What advice would you love to give to anyone thinking of picking up streaming, and what words of wisdom would you like to part?
Oh, advice. See, I would say like it's niche, and it's the same thing that everyone kind of says, but just be yourself, really. Like don't be afraid of being yourself, and then just kind of let yourself unravel, like get to know yourself, like, and it's a bit more of a unique take, but get to know yourself like as your own content creator. Don't base yourself off anyone. Don't mimic anyone. Be who you are, and then let yourself unravel. And like your weird, wild quirks that you think are like should be shut off are the best parts of you that people will stick around for, and which will latch on and just become some of like lifelong friends or long-time viewers, whatever you like, just amazing staples of your community. Just let yourself be yourself. Like just not even as thing as just be yourself, but like just let you be you. Like let yourself come into this role of content creator, if that's the route you want to go down. Let yourself unroll into the hobby. Like however you're taking this, whatever angle you're taking content from, whether it be hobby, you're trying to make it like a job, like a big massive thing, if you want to, whatever kind, just let yourself roll. Like don't pressure yourself. Do not but put the work in as well. Like it's finding that balance.
Totally brilliant. It's so true, because everyone is everyone is unique and everyone has got something to bring to the table, and there will be someone that likes what you do, no matter who it is. And yeah, don't be afraid to take those risks, I suppose, isn't it? So yeah, Carl, that was brilliant. Thank you. Really appreciate your chat, man. That was excellent.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for having me on.
Oh hell yeah! No, it's been wonderful. Thank you. One more time, would you like to plug where we can find you?
Oh, well, of course, on Twitch. Where again, you'll see all the Twitch Taskmaster and all that kind of stuff. But you can see me on Twitch, X, Instagram, YouTube. I am getting hefty on the YouTube now. I'm focusing a little bit more on that than I am the streaming at the minute.
Okay.
The paradigm is slowly shifting, so we're coming more. We may come full circle yet. But yeah, on all those, all the socials.
Brilliant. Oh, that was brilliant, mate. I really appreciate your chat. That was awesome. And everyone check out Twitch Taskmaster. You know, it's probably started by now. I think this is gonna be episode 4. So probably going into probably going into March now, but yeah, there'll be plenty of episodes to watch. I'm sure there's some fantastic guest streamers on Kyle's Twitch Taskmaster. Some who have been on this podcast as well. People like Monster Mash and Paranorma. So
I was gonna say some former guest stars of your own as well.
Yeah, exactly. So if you'd like those people, then definitely check out those people, and obviously Kyle as well, man. Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you very much, Johnny. I appreciate it, man.
Everyone have a good, happy time zone, and I will catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.